Hey guys, I'm the Coaster Kate, and welcome back to Sorcery Part 1. Last time we fought a snake, we got kidnapped, we completely didn't fry some children, and this time, who knows what's gonna happen. All I know is that I really hope that we're gonna get some sleep real fast, because this is very much a problem that we have with our stamina right now. So we're just gonna go ahead and go beyond Christianity. You wake early and sit for a moment, in no great hurry to leave this place where you have lingered so long. This is now the third day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then unhurriedly collect your possessions and set off along the path. Christianity is surrounded by several miles of fields. It sits in a well-protected ring of hills and is close enough to the river to be reasonably prosperous. As you follow the path between lines of sun-baked crops, you come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, while the left heads directly off into a deep woodland. Okay, so I can either go... Okay, I really need to go into town. I have gone into the woods way too many times. So we're gonna go ahead and go into this town, whatever it may be. You glimpse a few people at work by the buildings. There will be precious little company on your journey, so you should take it while you can. Approaching a low wall, you see a blind beggar sheltering in the shade with his hand held outstretched. He hears you approach and clicks his fingers. "Alms, would you? For love of Sindla, alms?" Usually, whenever I would encounter a beggar, I would say that I would have none to give or walk on by. But I have a feeling this is a special one, but let's just look at him for a second first. The man is a sorry sight. He is skinny and sparsely clothed, and his eyes are painted with a dark dye to indicate his blindness for all to see. "Please, mistress, I wouldn't ask if I didn't need to. Used to be a Gaylor, see? Now I don't. See, please." "What happened to you?" "Red eyes," he answers, and won't say any more. "I'm sorry for your loss." "Can't eat pity," the man shrugs. "Alright, you have 1 coin. "You are kind, traveler," the beggar says. He feels over the surface of the coin, then bites down on it. "Why me? This is a gold piece. You are too generous to a poor, sightless beggar. You'll get me killed if anyone knows that I have it." The beggar beams up at you. "Look after yourself," you say, preparing to walk away. "Wait," he calls. "1 moment, please." He begins to scrabble around, feeling over his body as if looking for holes. Eventually he cries, "Aha!" and pulls out a copper key, which he holds out to you. What is that?" You ask cautiously. "Years ago I lived in Car," he explains. "Car was my home, and in the city port I watched over prisoners in the gaol. Beware the red eyes in Car, or my fate will befall you, and you'll be here with me, begging for your living." "Okay, then. Thanks for the advice." He nods, and the key. Don't forget the key. Don't lose it." He grips your hand, forcing the key into your palm. "Listen to me. Gar is wary of strangers, but this key will help you if you be captured by Red Eyes. Trust old me." As the man talks, you step quickly out of the road. As an ox cart whips past you, raising dust, it does not stop. "Thank you," you say, then move on. You follow the path away from the village for half the morning. The walk is easy. It feels as natural as breathing to have the road move beneath your feet. Hard to believe you trained for this journey so long now that you are on it. You climb a little, tracing the side of a group of trees until you are met at the fork in the road. You could continue straight up and onwards, or turn west for a while. So there's Dumpus and there's Liaki. So I basically have a choice between those two. Which one seems like it would be more friendly? Well, if I go west, I'm likely to run into a fight by going through these trees. If I head straight on, maybe I could just get some rations. And I'm really, really in need of rations right now, because I am leading down a path that will lead me to death if I don't get that pretty quickly. You continue along the path, climbing. Your legs feel strong and lean. By the end of the journey, you will be built like a mountain goat. The afternoon progresses, long and easy. This place you are walking through seems thick with desolation, as if it were long ago abandoned. And then, as if to confirm your thought, you come across two enormous stone pillars, listing slightly either side of the road. They form a gate, but the gate is 3 times the height of the man. Let's look them over. Always good to check. Peering closely, you make out the faded remains of carved characters. In the old script, L and K. The remnant of a spell of fortune, perhaps, or of binding for these now fallen stones. I'm gonna go through. This seems like a good idea. You step into the shadow of the enormous gate. The ruins of walls line the path either side, but these are walls built from blocks the size of ox carts. Centuries ago, this must have been a place for a palace of a king 12 feet tall. Now it has been leveled and the stones stolen for the field walls and foundations of the villages all around. Well, this is tragic. I probably should have paid attention to that ruined part, now that I think about it. It's probably a big hint. You take a moment to clamber out over the ruins and off the path until you are surrounded by waist-high grasses. The ground rises and falls sharply around the outlines of houses and buildings. You trace the line of a street, wide enough to run 3 carts abreast, that leads quickly downhill towards a forest. Once this place was rich and plentiful. What happened here to remove every last trace of these colossal people? Okay, so I can follow the street, look inside a house, or go back to the path. If I really want to find out, I should look inside a house. You stop by the edge of a house. The sidewall only stands as high as your knees. Grass nods above it. Looking inside, you can make out the edges of a fireplace, the back wall, and an adjoining area, perhaps of a grain store or a bedroom. This is interesting that it says search in the grass. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of time here, but okay. You take a few moments to search through the long grasses and find nothing until your hand closes on a clay pot near one wall. It is in the shape of a wine jug, but about 3 times the usual size. Around the neck is a red stain, wine, or maybe blood. It is impossible to tell. The base of the pot has been smashed away, perhaps by age, perhaps by someone unhappy with the contents. You leave the pot behind. You follow the line of the street down the slope of the hill. The further you go from the path, the more overgrown the ruins become, until you can barely make out their outlines at all. After a while, you are not following the street at all, but simply holding the same line. You approach the edge of a thick woodland. Okay. Now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and head back towards Dumpus and hope that it's not a dump, as the name implies. Through the tree line. There's no clear path here, and the street has disappeared from view. The going in the trees is difficult, but you push your way forward as best you can, and stop when you come across a large standing stone. Another gate? Look at the stone. You go over to the stone and examine it more closely. Not a gate. It is an idol, a gigantic stone head carved with deep open eyes and an open mouth. Around the lips is a dark red stain, the same as on the pot. Looking left and right into the trees, you are startled to see more stones, more idols with open mouths leading off in both directions, all faced towards the ruined village, as though forming a wall of an approaching army. Something terrible happened here. Look into the idol's mouth. Stealing your courage, you slide your hand into the mouth of the idol. It is so deep, you reason, something must be concealed in there. And sure enough, your grip closes on something hard but light. Treasure, perhaps? You pull out your hand to see what you are holding. I'm so afraid of this either being like a rock or just a trap or something. Yep, it's a trap. Of course it is. Nervously, you open your palm. Teeth, gigantic teeth. You are holding 3 giants' teeth. Perhaps every idol holds the same, or perhaps the other idols hold kneecaps, arms, bones, jaws. You press on. Trees and thorny bushes snag at you as you walk, and eventually, after chopping and hacking your way through, you see a space ahead. A path. You push forward and then stop for breath, grateful to have solid ground to walk on once more. I just want to go over here. Alright, let's get over to the city. You walk for several hours, following the twists and turns of the path through the trees. Then, suddenly, you stop. You have heard a noise up ahead. Something is moving around between the rocks at the edge of the path. Let's wait and look. You hang back, watching the trees. There's definitely something moving around. Something large and long, with a tail that whips between the trees. But now that you've seen it, you're at a definite advantage. Attempt to creep around. The beast is off the path to the right, so if you creep through the tree line on the left, you may escape unnoticed. You try this tactic, moving slowly and carefully, making as little noise as possible, placing your feet with delicate care. After a few more yards, you are about to rejoin the path when the movement of the animal stops. It must have heard you or caught your scent, and sure enough, a moment later, it is upon you. In a flurry of foliage and dirt, a rat bear leaps from the undergrowth. It is much closer than you thought. Its sleek black fur allows it to hide in the shadows until it is almost upon you. Looks like it's fighting time. Alright, so we have even power here, which is a scary situation to be sure, and that's really high stamina. This is a fight that could easily go south. We're going to start off with a nice strong attack, because I doubt it would start off defending. So, I could be completely wrong. Watch me be completely wrong. Oh, frick. Ouch, that hurt a lot. The rat bear is startled by your approach but drops quickly to all fours. You will not be intimidated by an overgrown rodent. You plant your feet and ready a mighty sword swing. At the last moment, the rat bear leaps, all claws off the ground and ready to plunge into your body. It takes you by surprise and wide open. The vicious creature has wounded you, and worse, it knows it. It squeaks and snuffles, standing onto its high legs. It's probably going to do another strong attack, but I am so afraid now. Yes, it did, but I was able to overpower it. Now neither of us are going to have anything to attack with, so I'm guessing it's going to defend. So I'm just going to do a nice little side swipe. Yes, barely overpowered it, but that was good. Sidestepping, you slash out at the rat bear, catching it with a light blow. Light plays through the trees for a moment. The true extent of the rat bear's injuries is revealed. Now, I am afraid that it might have enough power now to do an actual attack, so I'm just gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna do my strongest attack that I can and hope for the best. Okay, -2. Oh, one more point. Standing firm, you swing a mighty blow at the rat bear, slipping a light blow past its claws. The rat bear screeches an inhuman howl, and you take heart. It has almost fallen. We're both struggling right now. Come on, one last swipe. Oh, by 0.3. Oh, that was way too close. Feigning left, you slice at the rat bear. Then your sword slips between the creature's ribs and dives deep into its putrid heart. The rat bear squeals and falls to the ground, face down in the mud. 3 stamina lost. Decent dueling. Not gonna try again, even though it would really be good if I tried again. Okay. Please be a friendly city. Please be a friendly city. I desperately need a friendly city right now. The path winds a few more times around gigantic trees, thousands of years old, and then emerges onto a sudden plain, as if the forest had been scooped away by gigantic hand. A river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by its banks stands a tiny village. Let's enter the village. Please do not avoid the village. I need it desperately. Yeah, today has been punishing. You could say that again. But with a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start auspiciously. So you begin the gentle climb down into the village. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be Dumpus. The streets are thin and narrow, and the buildings have been set close together, as if trying to withstand a storm. There is a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems an unpleasant place. But nothing changes the fact that you desperately need shelter and rest. I desperately need them. Your day has been punishing, and you're almost too weak to stand. Okay. Let's see. I need to explore the town, maybe find some food. Okay. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchants' huts. You browse for items worth buying with your 9 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. I need provisions so bad. So bad. You examine the bag of food. There is enough to last 3 days. 6 gold pieces, the merchant says with a smile. Good for a traveler, I am sure. Okay, I desperately need this. I desperately need this. Of course, I lost my ration. What's the skull cap? Yeah, I can't do that. I could have if I wasn't nice to that guy, but I was, so I can't. You pick up the skull cap and turn it over. Stolen from a priest of Dadulay, the merchant declares with pride. A fine piece of work. 4 gold pieces. Looks like an object of magic properties, although what they be is unclear. You shake your head and place the skull cap back on the merchant's table. That's enough. You nod to the merchant. The merchant smiles. Is there anything else I can help you with? Is there any work to be had here? I need food, or I need money so I can, sleep somewhere. The merchant sizes you up. You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing, and I'm sure he'd pay you and feed you for it. Digging what? The merchant shifts uncomfortably. Does it matter? You'll find out. He stares at you. So? He looks over his shoulder at the path. I'm going that way now myself. You coming? I guess I'm coming. He leads you to a house on the edge of the village and introduces you to the householder, a stout man who is probably incapable of lifting a spade, let alone digging with it. I'm ready to get started. Spade's out back, he replies with a jerk of his thumb. You nod through the man's house into the back garden. The smell is terrible. The job is not just to dig a new cesspit, but to dig over the old one, and it's going to be several hours' work that'll probably take the whole night. Well, I need to sleep, so we're going to cast a spell, hopefully get this done with the spell, and then hopefully sleep. Okay, what's D? Well, that's weird. I have no choices for D. I guess we're not doing D then. What's B? Ah, big. That might make that work go faster. And then I've got zap. I doubt that would help. And what's P? Pep? Cause strength. Well, I don't have fire water. So I guess we're going with big. How much stamina was this? 3? 1. Okay, that's not bad. You cast the spell and wait for it to take effect. Then you feel the spade turn from a heavy tool to a mere toothpick in your hand as you swell to 3 times your usual size. You have the digging work done in barely any time. Collect my pay. Ooh, money. You go back into the house and collect your money, 3 gold pieces. The grateful householder also provides you with some food, as well as a space on the floor to rest for the remainder of the night. You settle down happily and are quickly asleep. You dream strange dreams as you sleep. It seems as though you wander through doors and hallways built 10, 20 times your height. You are an insect, and the hills over which you walk are follicles of hair on the shaved chin of a giant. Storms of hot, fetid breaths seem to sweep across you, threatening to blow you down into hell. Overhead you fancy you hear the flap of giant wings. The birdmen came for the crown. Perhaps before this journey is finished, they will come for you. Alright, we're going to go ahead and leave this episode right here. We found a giant's land, and more importantly, we found a place where we could finally get some food and some sleep, and we're maybe dying just a little bit less than we were beforehand. It has been a rough journey, but it looks like we're doing a little better now. Hopefully that continues. Thank you all for watching. I hope you soar high and enjoy your ride of life. Bye.